And clearly you were mad. So how much profit were you taking at that point?
Zero right then. Zero.
Okay. All right. Well, you just got Salon Top 200.
Yep.
Congratulations, first of
Thank
all.
you.
That's amazing.
That first year, 20% growth.
Let's go.
We crossed the $1 million mark.
Come on.
Being a part of the Academy has like opened me up to like the thrill and rush of leveling up.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Jason Everett. I'm hanging out with Angie Lorenz from Lalo Salon. Tell them, where is Lalo Salon? How many locations do you have? Give me the dirt.
Yeah, sure. Lalo's in Chesterfield, Missouri.
Okay.
We currently have one location. We are getting ready to start an expansion project and
Let's go.
Hopefully be ready by the end of the year.
Yeah, okay, so and we'll talk about that because you already said like there's some lessons that goes along with that and fair, right?
Yeah.
So what I want to find out is like, again, sometimes I remember where I meet people, sometimes I don't, and I forget where we first met. When was the first time that we actually met and how do we meet?
In person, I met you at the Orlando.
It was Orlando?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Big event, I believe.
Big event for?
It was big event, Lanza's big event, and then
Lanza's big event in Orlando.
I believe so. Yes, you did a little business.
I did do
seminar.
a thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So the Lanza big event in Orlando. That's when it was. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's super fun. I didn't realize that. And was that the first time we met? Period. Like, or had you seen us before?
Well, the first time I ever met you, yes, and I say that because we purchased one of your like courses.
Oh, you did a thing
years ago. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny because I'm sure it was great, just wasn't in the right mindset, right?
Wrong mindset, wrong time.
Yeah, just wrong timing.
Oh, okay.
But then, I just happened to hop into your business
You
session
came in the class.
Orlando, and
okay. And you were like,
I was in a rough spot
work.
and like ready to be like done with the salon.
Okay, so what was going? Yeah, let's talk about what was going on for you at that time. You said rough spot in the salon, ready to be done. What was that for you? Like, what was going on at that time?
Just tirelessly working around the clock and not.
Nobody can relate to that. Nobody's ever worked tirelessly around the clock and been mad, ready to light their business on fire, I'm sure.
I just couldn't figure out how to turn a profit, and it was starting to really weigh on me.
So what revenue were you guys at that point? How much revenue were you doing?
Well, that's a good question. I think we were probably around like 700, 800,000.
Okay, 700, 800, and and clearly you were mad. So how much profit were you taking at that point?
Zero right then. Zero.
Okay, so you were running a business, very frustrated, and anything else that was horrible or not fun at the time? Yeah,
I mean, we just had like all the wrong spots, spending the money on marketing and just thinking if we just kept growing our service revenue that we would eventually turn profit, but all the while not really knowing.
And how long did you own the salon at that point?
I've been
how long
in the
have you
academy
owned the salon
for
now?
2 years.
Okay, 2 years in the academy.
And I've had the company 12.
Okay,
So
all right, so you're about 10 years in.
Yeah.
You were 10 years in, and again, I mean, it's not like $700,000-$800,000 is anything to laugh at. Like that's a good thing, but if you're not making any profit, that sucks.
Yeah.
So that was a problem.
My stylists were doing great.
Yeah, so they were making money, you were not. And were you behind the chair at that point too?
I was still.
Okay, are you now?
No.
Okay, not at all.
Not at all.
Okay, great. So now, okay, so you were $700,000, we met a couple years ago. You joined the academy. Was there anything that you were hesitant about before you joined the academy that you were like, I don't know about this Jason guy, like what, or like maybe it won't work? What would have stopped you from joining? Like what would have been the trigger for you?
Well, when I attended the business seminar that you put on, I had no questions. Like I was just 100% like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Okay, you were all in.
I had no reservations at that time. I think maybe prior to that, I would have been like, oh, it's just another thing to take my money, right? Like, will the value be there? But I could tell by what you were presenting on the screen. It felt good. It was everything that I was looking for and had lacked prior.
Fair. So you felt good coming in early, but even to your point, you had grabbed something from us before and didn't really use it, or just wrong timing, wrong whatever. And then you're like, okay, I didn't do that, but now I get it. I'm ready.
Yeah.
What was different about you at that point?
I think I had been through enough like loss or just
enough change.
Yeah, I think that I was at the point that I'm like, okay, this is it for me. Like if I can't figure out how to make this work, then I really just need to figure out something else for my life. Like this, but it was sad.
What were you gonna do? What would you have done if you weren't running a salon? What would you do?
Food truck or something.
Oh my gosh, I don't know that would be. Yeah, okay, so food truck.
I just love to bake.
What type of food? What would you do?
Oh man, I have some
not
good
trying
old,
to encourage this habit or anything.
No, that's okay.
The side gig.
I like just like good old comfort food. Like I make a mean like bread pudding and just some
the bread pudding truck would have been your jam.
cheeses pizzas and just some luxury comfort food.
Okay. All right. Well, if this doesn't work out, luxury comfort food it is. Okay. So, so funny. All right. Well, you just got Salon Top 200.
Yep.
Congratulations, first of all. That's amazing. Super stoked for you. And you've had some pretty awesome wins in the last couple of years. You've been with us 2 years. What have been some things you've implemented from the Academy into your salon?
Profitable back bar.
Profitable back bar, that's a big one.
Credit card processing fees.
Sick. And everybody's going to say, I don't want to charge credit card processing fees. How much more money do you make a month or a year because of credit card fees, do you know?
I'm pretty sure it saved us like 60 grand our first year doing it. So.
Okay, so maybe $60,000 in brand new income for your business in pure profit.
Occasional time a customer gets mad, I'm like, I just think about that extra 60 grand.
60 grand, 60 grand, 60 grand.
It's fine. I'm not paying for your vacation, sorry.
Fair.
Your points or whatever.
Yeah, fair. Okay, so that's super helpful. Any other big ones that you've dropped in? I mean, those are just a couple, but there's a bunch.
Our leadership team.
Okay, leadership team.
Love, literally changed everything.
Awesome.
Code of honor.
Okay.
Man, am I missing? What are?
I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch, but I would say that's
literally
some big
do all
ones.
the things that you say.
That's
I try to go into it fearless. I wear my little fearless bracelet, and I'm like, let's just do the dang thing.
Let's go. Oh, that's awesome.
See what happens.
That's good. Okay, so you're all in. And you've had, so what are some of the things why'd you win Salon Top 200? What were some of the braggy things that, in a good way, that you've been able to accomplish? You said some of these stats are really up for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that first year, 20% growth.
Let's go.
So we won in growth category.
Okay, so huge.
So yeah, that was probably, I guess, our biggest win for
growth,
top
and is that
200.
growth top line revenue?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we crossed the $1 million mark.
Come on.
That's
big. Congrats. I'll get every high five. I'm doing all of them. I mean, that's part of it, right? And have you ever crossed $1 million? No.
We had not.
First time. And how many? And you'd only been for 10 years before, and then after now we got you over the $1 million.
Yeah.
That's super good.
And I did not think that I was, even with the growth that we were having, I still didn't think I was going to hit it that year.
Why were you?
Because I was close.
Yeah.
But like with my projections, I was thinking no. But then we were over, I think we were 30,000 over. Like we easily crossed.
You were like,
yes.
Oh, that's so good. I'm super proud of you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then now you're in for an expansion. Is that what's going on now, right?
Yes.
And you said that's good and bad at the same time?
Well, just dealing with architects, contractors, dealing with all
I've never dealt with any of those horrible people on planet Earth before in my life. I'm currently dealing with it right now. I had a call yesterday. I feel you. Mm-hmm. And so it's just a little more challenging now because again, that's part of it. You try to grow again, and there's going to create some challenge. Yes. So has the Academy been helpful for that, for you, as you're dealing with all those challenges now? Oh yeah, well, I mean, just in general, just like uplifting, like reminders of why we do what we do. So there are times. Why do you do what you do? Can I ask? Like, why do you do it? Yeah. If you asked me that 10 years ago or 12 years ago, I would have responded differently. Even 2 years ago. What would you have said 10 years? Well, what would you say 10 or 2 years ago? I would say that I feel like most people do it to make the customers feel beautiful about themselves, right? Fair. It's like, I'm going to make customers feel good, feel pretty, all that stuff. And now what would you say? Now, being a part of the Academy has opened me up to the thrill and rush of leveling up and making myself be a better version. Nice. And that's huge. Thanks for saying that. That means a lot. I mean, it's helpful for me to hear it too, right? Yeah, just leveling up, even for my family, right? It teaches you what's taught me. Just level up every area in life and how good that feels, to be a better mom, to be a better wife, to be a better boss. Those are the things that I wasn't really exposed to that. And once you start becoming exposed to that, you just crave it more and more. So it's interesting because I never saw what my life would be like outside of behind the chair. And now I'm like, I don't want to do hair anymore. I want to just keep leveling up and leveling my people up to just be better, do better, figure out ways to help us live the lifestyle that we want to live. That's huge. And I think to your point, it's not just a game of I make people feel pretty. It really is, your life is changing. Yeah. And that's massive. I mean, at High Performance Salon Academy, that's the goal, right? Is trying to figure out how do we help you become the best version of yourself. I mean, that's part of my mission, right? My mission is to help you see the best version of yourself possible and give you a taste of what that's like so you don't go back. Yeah. Right? You've also said you've been able to sock away some pretty healthy profit. Yeah. You've put money in accounts. How much money have you added to accounts? Oh man, I think actually Jared told me yesterday we have $350,000 in our account right now. Come on. So you put $350,000 in profit away that you weren't able to do prior to being in HPSA because you were profit flat. And again, that's been over the last few, 2 years. Yeah, no, you've been putting that together in 2 years. I mean, $350,000 in the last 2 years, that's okay. I think most people would be like $350,000 in 10 years would be okay for a lot of salon owners. So the fact that in 2 years, an extra 350,000 in profit, that is badass.
Yeah.
That's super good. I'm really proud of you for that. That's incredible. I mean, it just means you're very disciplined with it. So are you also doing the Profit First program? Are you also putting that in place too? So that's what's able to get that money put aside for you.
And now we're scared, right? Like there's like right now we're down, right? Like we've just experienced our first, we lost 5 people. And
yeah, but it happened, but that's normal.
I also know it's a season and it's fine.
It's a season and it's temporary. Yeah, I mean, I think people think like, okay, are you gonna prevent me from ever having a walkout? I'm like, no, I'm not, because I don't know who's on your team, where they're at, what's going on, and no amount of leadership training will ever prevent people from leaving you. And like, that's a delusion. But to your point, now you've had 5 people roll out, which I'm sure feels terrible.
It does.
Right? Yeah, I can feel it when we're talking. Like, it doesn't feel good, but what's different about you now than who you were then? Like, what would have done to you 2 years ago versus today?
Oh man, I think just having that support in the community of knowing that it is a season and like I still have the ability to flip this around and I don't need that to control. Like it doesn't dictate my future. So now I'm trying to, okay, now what? Like what's next? Like, let's go. Let's figure out I was downstairs figuring out other ways today to add other streams of income. Yeah,
to figure out how do you replace the revenue and what can you do.
Just look for more people or figure out how to just be more profitable with where I'm at right now. It doesn't matter if I do the $125,000 this month that I was doing. Can I still be profitable or maybe even more profitable on maybe $95,000 this month?
Yeah, 100%, because now you're dialing in everything, right?
But then I know in a few months it will be back up, as long as we keep staying on track.
That's huge. Well, like you said, you weren't really hesitant when you first joined the academy. Like you weren't like, you were all in. But what were some things, was there anything that surprised you that you didn't expect to get that the High Performance Salon Academy gave you that you were, I mean, you kind of answered a little bit of that, but is there anything specific that you were like, man, that was unexpected inside the academy?
I think I didn't really expect how much information we would have access to.
Okay.
It can be overwhelming. Right?
100%. Yeah, I would say that's the number one complaint is like, that's too much information. I agree. We're working on that to really make sure that gets, because it can be overwhelming for sure.
Yeah.
But in a good way, it was unexpected that you had access to so much.
And I will say like a little bit of a harder lesson learned. Like,
okay, I'll take a hard one.
I'm a big person, like hold my hand through something to get me going. And it wasn't very used to like, hey, big girl, you figure it out. So I think that shocked me a little bit. Like,
we weren't like, okay, Angie, here's your thing today.
1, 2, 3.
We're not school teachers, so that's kind of the deal. You're big boys and girls.
And at first I was a little like, I don't know. But now I'm like, it's kind of changed the way that I look at everything that I approach in life and with my staff. And now it annoys me when I see other people like copping out or not taking accountability and like just it's our own fault if we don't figure out how to make something happen.
I was gonna say that the myth about that, not to get all coachy, but like the myth about that is that if somebody tells me what to do, it also gives you somebody to blame if it's not working.
Fair.
Right? And so what happens is if you're like, oh, I hate my coach, it's their fault I'm not winning, versus right now, if you're not winning, it's only on you, right? Yeah. And so like that becomes the difference of realizing that like, okay, if it is to be, it's up to me, and I can implement the things that I want. And again, not that we don't leave you hanging. I mean, clearly we have lots of support for you guys, but the goal is that we still want you to be the responsible party, because you should be the one celebrating your own success because you earned it, not because I told you what to do, because you figured it out.
Yeah.
With help, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's huge. What would you say to somebody that's like trying to figure it out? Maybe they're in that same spot, just like you were, where they're getting frustrated with their business. They've been static for a while and like they're not earning the profit and they're just really frustrated. What would you say to them about the academy? What would you tell them? Like, what would you tell your old self?
Man, dive in and just go all in, listen to the systems, it's endless opportunities to make a profit. And I feel like if you go into it fearless, like you will absolutely start to make a profit. And there's help out there for sure. I just feel like it's just been endless between you, the mentors, and then just the friendships that you make for people to lean on, to bounce ideas. It's been incredible. I would absolutely tell myself, you go girl, come on, let's go. This is what you've been needing for your entire
that means a lot.
Your entire career, or your entire time that you've owned the salon, for sure. I can't imagine if I had it 12 years ago where I would be now. 100%.
What would you give as a warning as like, don't do this if?
Don't join the academy?
Yeah, like what would you give as a warning? Like if you're the type of person that is like this, what would be a danger if that type of person wanted to join, if they assumed it was something, or made an assumption or the wrong type of person?
Oh, I would say people who aren't open for coaching, or like, I would say if you're a very one-track mind, like I like to do things my way and maybe not great. Or if you're going to just be like, I can't see myself doing that. Like I do see a lot of resistance on like credit card processing fees, or how will my staff take it if all of a sudden we're gonna
but that's it, right? It's like if they're panicked that they're trying to please their staff all the time,
I'd say
you're not gonna get very far.
You're not gonna get very far for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. And you do have to be willing too to like start to learn where are people holding you back in your company also. Like that is probably one of the hardest ones. Like, my new rule of thumb, actually, I just developed with Jared, my husband, is if I have to talk about somebody as a topic of dinner conversation twice, other than celebrating them, no more.
Dang, that's it. That's a quick one.
I'm so
I hope I don't come up a dinner conversation. That's all I'm saying. But no, to your
point.
If
it's a bad one, right?
I understand. But I'm saying
we celebrate people at dinner all the time.
Yeah, if you're having that conversation and you realize that people are the negative subject of dinner conversation, and you're like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But we
have to be willing to like. And it doesn't even have to be, I think that's what I learned also. It doesn't have to be a bad conversation. It could be just, you're just not right for my company
this isn't exactly what we're after anymore.
That's a big thing that I've learned from the
Academy.
That's huge.
How
to talk to people, have those tough conversations.
Oh, that's a good one.
Actually, one of my people that had just left, she'd been with me for a long time.
Yeah.
But we just suddenly came to the agreement that we were out of alignment, and it was okay.
So this is a great point. And I think it's an awesome way to like put a little extra cherry on this, is just making sure that sometimes you're so desperate to keep people on your team to feel good about yourself that you will put up with garbage relationships.
Yeah.
And so like, even though you've now released people back into the job market that were the wrong people by their choice or by yours, you now have the right people around you. And that will be what makes you more successful for sure.
I do think the Academy also helped me get really clear about why was I doing this? What do I want? And that I never realized how much that helps shape who comes to work for you. I thought that just being kind, me having a good heart,
being nice to everybody,
wanting to do good hair and having a luxury space was good enough. And it's just not at all, actually.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Angie, for hanging out. If you enjoyed this interview, please let her know. And you can go find her on Instagram. How do they find your salon? It's Lalo Salon?
At Lalo Salon.
Just at Lalo Salon. You can check it out and find Angie and the rest of our squad all over at High Performance Salon. Check out more of our stuff. Thank you so much for doing this, Angie. I appreciate you, and thank you for watching all the way through to the end. I appreciate you so much.